Welcome along,
That is
weekend
unbelievable.
roundup. Oh my days.
Wow.
We're in for a great show today, guys. Well, what about the North London derby?
I'm not getting rattled.
And we're 3 points off top 4, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah. Foden
I'd
88,
say
Saka
that's about
87.
right,
I think that's wrong.
Nice that you put your top on. You want to take it off and get the branding out? Happy birthday!
Make a wish to win the league.
I did.
How much chance will Arsenal have of winning the Champions League?
0, mate.
If we got through
Can't do
PSV, do you think there's any chance?
No,
that we
no,
win?
no.
Hang on, let me finish.
Predictions
2-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Wolves.
Chelsea to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Still
You're
there.
in trouble if we win this game.
You better not lose on Saturday.
We beat the world champions this weekend.
That makes you world champion.
We're the world champions, but you're not in a title.
This is why you'll never win the league.
6 million down the drain.
Robbie celebrating a 1-0 win. Abby Pilates instead of trophies. You never walk alone.
Catch us every Monday for the weekend roundup.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to DR Sports. Welcome back to Live at 5. We're here in the studio on a Wednesday today. I just almost said Thursday. We're on a Wednesday. You know, I'm not used to European nights being on a Wednesday at the moment as a United fan. I don't even have European nights actually these days. But obviously yesterday there were a lot of good games on, and there are a lot of good games on tonight. The main one being Real Madrid versus Manchester City, and we are going to get into that in a bit. But today, to go through the games, including last night's games, obviously Arsenal's games, Newcastle playing as well. We are doing a watch-along later today, by the way, so from 7:30, looking at a lot of the Champions League games and goals. But my name is Dylan, I'm your host today, and I'm joined by Abby.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, girl.
Hi.
Hi. We couldn't work out what the day was.
Yeah, it's Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. It's been a whole thing for us in the last 5 minutes, isn't it?
It is Wednesday today. It is Wednesday. We've got more Champions League, more football. When does the fun stop, Dylan?
The football never stops.
Football never stops. We are in full flow of.
Have you seen that?
football
What's that
right now.
clip from? Oh, who's that comedian who does like the really funny "The football never stops"?
When the fun stops, stop.
No, that's
Gamble
gambling.
Aware,
That's
yeah.
gambling aware. No. Oh, I forgot to say. It will come to me later. But I want to ask you, Abby, about the Spurs game last night. So
Okay.
I got to admit, I know my whole job is football, but I didn't watch any last
It's
night.
all right. Sometimes we have enough.
I was there watching episode 4 of Stranger Things.
I haven't watched any Stranger Things yet. Don't
mate.
ruin it to me. Don't ruin
First 3 episodes were a good build-up. Episode 4,
it.
bang.
Bosh.
It was incredible. But then I looked afterwards, I went on the various different apps and looked at the statistics from some of the games, and I saw, Spurs 3-0 win. That's what, 2 clean sheets on the bounce,
Yeah.
5 goals in 2 games. Damn. Then I looked at what the
Damn.
goals were. It was an own goal and 2 penalties.
Yeah.
I thought, interesting. I wonder who played well. Went and looked at the ratings on FotMob, and you won 3-0, and your goalkeeper got the highest rated. A great rate display. So I want to know what actually happened in this game, because that's confusing to me. 3-0 win, and your goalkeeper's the one with the best rating.
Well,
And did you deserve the 3-0 win? Because it's an own goal and 2 penalties.
Yeah. Definitely deserved the win, I feel like. It was just more... Look, we had chances. Again, it's just a bit of a lack of quality in those forward areas. But definitely we were by far better than Slavia Prague. They had their chances as well, because Spurs will always give you a chance. I think that what was just an indictment of last night was obviously, yes, we won the game 3-0, and I expected them to beat Slavia Prague. We have been going really well in terms of European games at home. It's completely different to what I guess we see in the league. But the indictment on it is that when we face quality opposition who are able to take chances that we will inevitably give them, we will be in big trouble. Because we always give people the opportunity to score against us. It was an okay game. Like, it wasn't something that is going to set the world on fire. It's just get the job done, don't mess up, and that was that. I don't think there was anyone... I mean, Xavi Simons had a good game, which, again, I kind of expected him to have a better game. I think I said that
That's what you
yesterday.
said last night. You said that these kind of games are the exact ones that you want him to start seeing take control
Yeah,
of.
I wanted to see him have a good game. I thought he was quite good in it. It was just kind of a bit of routine. Like, there wasn't... I'm not sure why necessarily Vicario got the most rating on FotMob.
Well, this is his thing, is that he got like an 8.7 out of 10. Like he seemed to be able to have an absolute stormer compared to other players, which is just what
stormer.
I
Like,
want to ask.
I just felt it was just an average game. Like, it's not one I would ever remember. It's not one I'd ever watch back. Obviously, he could have got his first goal in the Champions League through a pen.
He made 5 saves.
Xavi Simons won the pen, scored the pen, and then an own goals. But I mean, it has been a lot more positive from Spurs in terms of like forward passing and pressing and stuff like that. there wasn't really. I never felt really there was any real danger last night from Slavia Prague, despite the fact that he made 5 saves. But yeah, like it was what it was. Annoyingly, Mickey van der Ven did pick up another booking, which means he will miss Dortmund.
And that's away, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not an ideal one. I think that's away. Yeah, that's not an ideal person to be missing, but it is what it is. And now we just move on. Obviously, we're on to the next. But I know that we are going to massively struggle when we face quality opposition. Like, we've seen that against PSG. Like, arguably, I didn't actually think we were terrible that night either, despite the fact that we conceded 5, scored 3. 2 of those were our own downfall. But when you come across a team that has got firepower and, can really hurt you and capitalise on those moments that you will give up, which we will, then that's the problem. We don't necessarily have the quality to do that. Obviously, Matisse Tel has now been drafted into the squad for the remainder of these fixtures, which tells all of us that Dominic Solanke is not going to be back as we head into Jan.
I think the reports is that it's after New Year earliest.
Yeah,
that he comes back.
What can I say? They obviously need to do stuff in the window, because not having your first choice front 3 has massively affected us this season. And we really just I don't know when Kulusevski's back. He wasn't actually there last night. Like, everyone else turned out to see Sonny, which was amazing. The mural went up, and it's beautiful, so big up to whoever did the mural. And obviously he came out before kick-off to address the fans, finally got to say goodbye, obviously got to see his old teammates too. And it's funny, actually, there's not many people that would go 15 minutes before kick-off and be in their seat, especially at this time, unless it was for Son. So, it was just one of those games that you can just move on from. It's not really
back-to-back home wins as well. I know in Europe you basically never lose at home at the moment, but it's back-to-back home wins has to be huge for Frank.
Yeah, huge. And I think it's like you go back like 2 weeks ago to that when Vicario was being booed and stuff by the home fans, and it's kind of a little bit of a distant memory now. But wins, obviously, and a more positive style of play will, of course, stop the boos. That's what people want to see.
Yeah, shock horror, Ruben Amorim.
Imagine. But obviously this weekend, difficult going to Nottingham Forest. Arguably, as I've said before, we are better away from home, but will be a tough game, defo.
Got anything to say to Matisse?
Do you know what?
Atalanta beating them 2-1.
I didn't. Obviously, I didn't watch their game because I watched mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said to you guys when we did weekend roundup and preview, if you had stocks and shares in Chelsea, remove them. Matisse told us that when it gets to December, it's literally as soon as December the 1st hits, Chelsea fall apart.
Well, but he was saying before on the weekend roundup, he was going, it's mid-December normally, mid-December. Now it's early December.
Well, it's like Christmas come early this year, I guess, for them. But
I think for the rest of us,
it's just so strange how they can be unbelievable against a Barcelona side and they can play so well against Arsenal. Whether or not it's because they miss Caicedo or not, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea are
just completely falling apart, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're Chelsea. They'll fall back together in time for the end of the season and probably finish 4th.
Yeah, I hope not, because we're competing with them for. I don't know how it's ended up like this. At the beginning of the season, I remember I did a weekend preview with Matisse. It was me, Matisse, and Laurie, and we were talking about Chelsea. We were talking about their aspirations for the season, and it was obviously just after they won the Club World Cup. And I was sat there sitting. I always sat here. Matisse was sat right there in the middle. He was hosting actually. And I think he didn't want to host, but he did quite a good job hosting actually. And then I said to him, "You've just won the Club World Cup and spent X amounts of money you spent. Obviously, you have over the last couple of seasons." I said, "You should be going for that title. You should be going for that Premier League title." And he sat there and went, "Yeah." He sat there and went, "Yeah." He said, "Yes, we should be." And then it hits about October, and he goes, "Don't know, a couple here and there, all a couple of red cards, blah blah blah." And then now it's you're level on points with us. I was predicting us to finish 10th.
Well, not when you've had one
us
game
being
a week.
United, by the way.
Not when you've had one game a week. Like, I would have expected you to finish higher than that. It's not like you've had anything to do for the last
We're
6
aiming
months.
for top 6.
But look, the table is still very congested and it will stay that way until probably Jan time. Like, we need to get through the Christmas period to see who's really separating from the pack. But with Chelsea, I feel like their first 11 is really good on their day, and then you kind of drop into like the squad more, and like we've seen that when they've rotated when they went to Leeds, for example, a week ago. And the rest of the squad is just, they've spent so much money, but there are really 2 complete parallels between both sides of those teams. Like their A team, we'll call it A team, is like a lot stronger, able to compete on their day, can beat anybody. And I look at like their B team, which was predominantly used a lot in the Conference League, and like sometimes you just see such a disparity like between the two. And then when you have to dip into that, whether it's through injuries or anything else, it's kind of, it's not the same situation at Spurs because obviously we haven't spent the same amount of money. But it's like when I say to you about taking those front three players out who are Spurs' best options, then of course you see a difference in quality, you know, between them because we haven't been able to, not that we haven't been able to, we haven't built a squad that is able to compete and have good enough depth to be able to do that, like someone like an Arsenal, for example. But with Chelsea, there isn't really much of an excuse because they have spent so much money. They should have a much better squad. And although that the players are very young, the fact that when you have to start dipping into that, they're not quite good enough. What have you spent the money on, mate?
Yeah, I mean, Toby AK, thank you for the super chat, says, are Chelsea the new Tottenham? Are they going for top 4? Are they in the title race? What are they?
Listen, guys, my team finished 17th last season. I'm just trying to finish in the top half.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just trying to finish in the top half. But yeah, let's ask that question again tomorrow. Send that through as a super chat and I'll show.
Oh, yeah, no, actually, please do, because I'm sure Matisse will want to know.
I'm sure
that.
Matisse
I mean,
would love that.
You can ask him anyway. You can go,
Yeah.
Matisse, last time we got asked this question. I'm sure, because he'll say no.
Of course not, because if we bring accolades,
He'll say
into
no
it-
or give it big. Do you think he's going to even turn up?
Who knows?
Who knows? Because I'm looking at the stats from the Chelsea game. It was 49-51% possession split. Chelsea having 2% more possession, less expected goals, less total shots, one more shot on target. Both teams missed had two big chances. Both teams missed one. So it just seemed a case of that. Chelsea were away from home and Atalanta just kind of nicked it.
What were their team last night?
The Chelsea's team?
Yeah.
Their team was you had Sanchez in goal, back four Cucurella, Badiashile, Chalobah and Achimpong, right back apparently.
Stinky.
Caicedo, James, DMs, and then Gittins, Fernandez, Neto and João Pedro. That's not even a B team. That's a lot of their, that's 7 or 8 of their first team players.
Their back
Pedro,
line, isn't it?
Neto, Fernandez,
The
Reece
back-
James, Caicedo,
Yeah.
Chalobah, Cucurella and Sanchez.
Defensively.
All first team players.
Defensively, not ideal.
But then I'd argue Achimpong is not in their first team, but I would argue that he should be. Over probably Chalobah.
Chalobah?
Yeah. I think Achimpong's fantastic.
But Fofana and Chalobah are good together. They're all right together.
Yeah, but Chalobah's not been good in the last 3-4 games. He's the one that made the mistake against Leeds
I know,
as well.
but I do feel like Gusto did send they'll pin it all on Chalobah, but the ball from Gusto wasn't great either.
No, it wasn't. But Chalobah was there. He was dilly-dallying on the ball as if he had all the time in the world, as if Leeds weren't pressing the life out of them.
Dilly-dallying.
I also just really rate Achimpong.
Yeah, I
I know
Achimpong as well.
Matisse. I know Matisse does as well.
I know Chelsea
Yeah.
fans do, and probably you'd like to see him more. Yeah, I don't know. The Chelsea situation is just it's a little bit of an enigma.
Yeah.
An enigma because they should be so much better. And 1 week we are praising Enzo Maresca and his tactical adaptability to the hilt and saying how good Chelsea look and yeah, they're the real deal. And then you fast forward a few more days and it's like, oh, nope, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
They're terrible. They're not terrible, but for them. And the thing is with Chelsea is always going to come back to they've spent £1 billion plus. It's always going to come back to that.
Isn't it?
It's always going to come back to that.
Yeah.
But I think we also have to look at Chelsea with a different eyesight, I think, because we all think of Chelsea as the Chelsea that we all grew up with and knew, who were super dominant and bought every ready-made player and they had the most fearful squad. Chelsea are a different model now under this new ownership. It is very much about buying young players and flipping them and selling them for money. That is what they do. In the midst of it, obviously, you've got to build a team, but some of those investments have gone so wayward. And I just think that is still a bit of a circus club. Despite the fact that they did finish in a better position last season, it is still a bit wayward. It is what it is. But whatever competition Chelsea are in, whether it's Europa League, Conference League, etc., Champions League, they still do manage to breed success. Club World Cup. So there is a mentality that does run deep within the club. I just think that in terms of the players and the profiling of the players that we're used to seeing from Chelsea, then it's just a different thing, and we probably just have to adjust our own outlook on them.
What I find crazy with Chelsea, one of the comments is correct me, by the way, saying it was Tosin made the mistake with Chalobah. That's right. My bad. Thank you for clarifying that. But what I find mad with Chelsea is just the needle hasn't moved in years with them.
Yeah.
I feel like they've changed their team pretty drastically in the last 3 years, basically 3 summers in a row. Or there's a core amount of players who are still the same, and they spent they've got £200 million midfielders in midfield now with Enzo and Caicedo, and the needle just hasn't moved at all.
But I do think these things take time.
But you surely want to
You
see
go back-
something.
what-
It's like they weren't bad 3 years ago at all. They were chasing top four, getting into the Champions League, pushing
Yeah.
for some trophies. 3 years on, they're still doing the same
Well, this
thing.
is Enzo Maresca's second season.
Second season.
This
yeah.
is his second season, right? And you think of the seasons that came before that. The season under Pochettino, they had a strong finish. But if you go back over the last 5 years of Chelsea and the absolute just chaos that has ensued and surrounded that club, from the top to the bottom, don't forget we had Todd Bowley in, ex Twitter Spaces, talking about what
Which
transfers
is
to
mad,
get.
by the way.
Which is mad. Like
Imagine
this
you're
isn't-
Daniel Levy doing that a couple of years back, or
he wouldn't dare.
You're like Sir Jim Ratcliffe hopping on a United District space to ask fans
I
how
mean,
they feel.
let's be real. Daniel Levy would never have shown up in a Twitter space because of the
No.
abuse he would have got. But I just, it's so far away from the Chelsea that we know. So things do take time to rebuild. I'll give you an example. Look at Arsenal. Look at how they were with the Kroenkes 6 years ago, whatever. And look at how much time and investment that has taken to get Arsenal into a position where they are so strong, they are so dominant. And that was from an ownership that didn't go anywhere necessarily. It was from an ownership that decided to step up. Obviously, the Usmanov situation was put to the side, but the Kroenkes decided to back the team. I don't think that it's not for the fact that Chelsea and the ownership haven't backed the team. It's just the model in which they're doing now. Those first few signings, when you think about a Sterling and an Aubameyang, well, that made absolutely no sense to the model that they were trying to create, which is young players and buying them young and then eventually selling them, or scouting really young talent from South America.
I think it's
in
they signed
Esteban.
another one today, I believe.
So
Yeah.
I think with Chelsea, we'll call it a project.
Is it holding them back though, potentially? Is the model of kind of buying and selling and flipping players a lot? Because their oldest players say is Tosin at 28.
Well, it
If they've
depends-
got
it
such a
depends.
strategy of we're only going to bring in players who are 21, 22, 23 or 16, 17, 18
Yeah.
years old, and then they're not focusing on bringing... Because I said this a few weeks ago. I think I might have said this last week. They need players like Thiago Silva that they had. I know Aubameyang,
course.
etc. That wasn't great.
You need to
they
have-
want a Champions League with these older players.
You need to have experience littered with young players. There has to be some form of that. Otherwise, it's difficult. But I don't really think you've got some Premier League experience, but it's just a different model now. They're not going to go out and do that. I can't see Chelsea.
But
going back
I do
and doing
feel to
things
some
like
extent that might be then holding them back on the field because they've got no one. They apart from Tosin, who's I guess Premier League experience with Fulham, but then he was a free transfer from
João
Fulham.
Pedro.
It's holding them back. João Pedro, but
Yeah,
even then,
so-
João Pedro's João Pedro, bar the Club World Cup. These guys haven't won anything.
Yeah.
They really haven't. So I do feel like maybe their transfer strategy is going too far in the direction of flipping players. Because I feel like when they bought Garnacho 40 million, I was I'm looking at that and going, that'll be 60 million in 2 years' time, 3 years' time.
Yeah.
It just feels that way. There's a certain amount of they're not even going for players who might help them on the pitch and obviously help them on the pitch. Obviously why you sign players, but their transfer policy and model is hindering them from
Quite
getting
possibly
more kind of help now players and players who will help them win and get up the table right now.
Yeah, but they've got that, like we said, they've gone away from the win now model, which Chelsea was built on. When you had Mourinho and you had the Roman Abramovich era, everything that Chelsea did
need
was
both, though.
was
I
a
feel like you
win
need
now
both.
setup, and Chelsea aren't that anymore. Chelsea fans have to understand. Obviously, it's about patience and whether or not they can build on that and build a squad that is ready to challenge. If you ask Matisse or anybody else, they've all even though he has said to you, can they win the league? That's a different conversation, but. Are they ready to do that? Are they ready to fully challenge for a title? They've seen Chelsea teams in the past with those massive big name players, the Drogbas, the Terrys, the Lampards, Ivanoviches, etc., Hazards, go and win something because they've already got that mentality. This is a different thing. It's a different style of manager. It's a different approach from the board. And on top of it, you've got a different style of team. You've got a team that is very young. And if they're going to win something, it's going to come over years of building that connection to become something like that, which is so far away from the Chelsea model that we all knew it was. But that model doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. I think we should move on a little bit.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, we spent quite a lot of time talking about Chelsea, which
Let's
I
just
didn't really
move.
plan or expect to do. But we are going to be talking about the Real Madrid-Man City match in a bit. I know you guys in the comments are talking about it. We will get there. But there is just... I know we spent the last couple of days talking about this, but there's been even more stuff on Mohamed Salah.
Tell me.
Because
I've
yet
not seen
another
anything
Liverpool...
today.
Well, you can debate if Carragher's a Liverpool legend or not. I think that's been a debate among Liverpool fans themselves. But one who is not is Stevie G.
He'd rate himself
We
as a
spoke
legend.
about Stevie G actually yesterday when we were talking about, comparing the situations.
Yeah.
But Stevie G has weighed in
Go on.
on this situation as well. So he didn't say a lot. He basically said, He's obviously really upset. He's not playing, which I respect. He obviously wants to help the team, which I respect. He told TNT Sports the breakdown, I believe, yesterday maybe. A couple of lines about throwing us under the bus. Wrong. He needs to reverse a little bit away from that to deal with that with the manager. This needs Virgil van Dijk to go, how are we sorting this out? Not even so much for the benefit of the club or the team. It's the benefit of the fans. So pretty much Gerrard has come out and gone, no, Salah, you're wrong. You shouldn't have done that. And he's also calling on Van Dijk as a captain to sort it out. Do you think that's the right? Because obviously Carragher was so anti everything that Salah said and did, and I feel like Gerrard's maybe taken a bit more of a measured stance on it, but he's still pretty much backing the club over Salah and saying what Salah's done is completely wrong.
Yeah, and I think that no one is. I mean, actually, I take that back because there are people that obviously, kind of don't agree with that stance. That people don't think that Salah has done anything wrong, and that's their opinion. I understand what Gerrard is saying in terms of like, well, that's the captain, that's the leader, and there's now kind of like a stalemate between one of the most loved players ever in Liverpool history, and a manager who again hasn't been in the best vein of form. So if you insert Virgil van Dijk into that situation to mediate, yeah, but the difference is as well, we don't know what Virgil van Dijk's feelings are, whether or not that he's happy with Arne Slot, whether or not he's more on the side and he thinks personally Salah should be starting and he agrees with Salah's stance. We don't know that. We don't know what Virgil van Dijk's relationship is with Arne Slot. So asking him to get in the middle of it, yeah,
but as a captain, is it not to a certain extent? It's because technically Van Dijk will be Mo Salah's friend.
But then when
they've played together for so long, done everything together.
Would you not argue that maybe Salah had who knows if they all knew in the changing room that he was going to go and say that? We don't even know if he'd made it apparent to them that he was going to say something about his position. I mean, if you're that close with those players, especially who have been there a long time, like a Van Dijk. Really? Do you not think that they would know the frustration?
You've also got ex Liverpool players who played with Salah and stuff. Obviously, I know it was under Klopp, not under Slot. Yeah. Like Lovren, etc. Like they're in the comment sections, and you've got like the Egyptian FA. They're coming out in support of Salah as well. I think.
I think the Egyptian FA obviously would come out and support Salah,
they're back their guy, yeah.
Especially after the Carragher comments.
Well, the Egyptian they came out before Carragher's comments, but yeah, of course the Carragher comments are only going to be more supportive. But like.
It's hard because obviously players will always stick together because there's like players' union, but at the same time, like you can't throw your club, the board, the people that pay you under the bus. And Steven Gerrard is correct in the sense that it does hurt the fans the most. Like you're putting the fans in a situation where like they're infighting with each other in some way because, well, if you go against Salah, then like you're wrong for doing that. But above all, guys, like even if a player is so disarmed with the manager or like just not happy with the situation, you just shouldn't be throwing the badge, the crest, the club under the bus. Like I just genuinely think that you should be doing these things behind closed doors, and if that means that the captain of the club in Virgil van Dijk gets involved, then that's fine. That's something that should be going on behind closed doors. But I still find it odd that he did that after the Leeds game and he didn't do it, for example, this weekend. Because I would be floored if he was wearing a shirt come this weekend. He might even be in the squad this weekend. There is that as well.
Yeah, actually, on that, I saw a report. Actually, I'm going to see if I can find it and get it up from TalkSport, talking about this. Let me find it. So Mo Salah appears unlikely to play for Liverpool in this weekend's friendly clash at home against Brighton, according to their sources. Basically, so it seems like maybe he'll be on the bench, but it looks like he might not play. But then Slot, even last night, like Slot's comments are starting to get a bit confusing. By the way,
go on, what Slot
did you see?
Said?
So after the game, he basically hinted that if Salah apologised, he'd have a way back, which sounds reminiscent of. I know it's not the same kind of caliber of player, but it sounds really reminiscent to the Jadon Sancho, Eric Ten Hag stuff a few years ago, where Sancho didn't come off the bench against Arsenal. and then basically came up with a statement being like, I just want to play football. I don't know why this is happening to me, etc., etc., etc. Which is kind of what Salah said almost. But then so after the game, he said, you say everyone makes mistakes in life. So the first thing should be, does the player think he's made a mistake as well? And then the next question is, should initiative come from me or him? That's another question to answer. So it feels like Slot's basically saying, if you come up to me and say sorry, then we can crack on like nothing's happened.
Well, this is where Virgil van Dijk can enter the chat. Virgil van Dijk can mediate a conversation between Arne Slot and Mohamed Salah and say, right, let's just hash this out, what's going on. But if Mohamed Salah doesn't think that he has done anything wrong on it, then there is no chance. I can't imagine that he would be on the bench when this hasn't been resolved. Like, what's the point? That is just going to make all eyes for this game on that bench the entire time. Every movement is going to be studied.
It'd be like
body
Newcastle
language.
having Isak on the bench, like during August or
Yeah,
something
it's like
that.
there's so much tension going on, and like realistically, he's not going to come off the bench. And then then what? Then he comes off the bench and then he scores.
Yeah.
And then
then what?
Then what?
Yeah.
Then he's going to AFCON, and then you say, "Oh, well, you should have played him against Leeds, because then we wouldn't have drawn the game." Like, I just think that makes for even more uncomfortable viewing for Arne Slot, and like for the club as well when he called them out. Unless there is an apology, I think between now and then, I can't see it.
Should Slot be then keeping him out of the squad again completely against Brighton, unless Salah was to literally come in and go, "Sorry, man, my bad. Can we patch this up?" Like. Is that what Slot? Does he have any choice but to do that? Because as you say, like if he does bring him back in the
my honest opinion,
squad,
I think it will probably be not even Arne Slot's choice now. I think it will be a club choice. Personally, I think it's whether or not the club think that it's wise to have him on the bench and to have him there, and whether or not it creates more scrutiny and more talking points, which it obviously would. Him being on the bench and not coming on, or he comes on and he scores, and then it kind of sends the pendulum back towards Arne Slot looking like an idiot and the club looking like an idiot. So I wouldn't be surprised if the club make the decision.
Yeah, they can't. In my opinion, they cannot. Slot cannot have him in the squad against Brighton. Unless Salah was to say a complete sorry.
Yeah, if there's an apology, then that's different.
Yeah,
but if
especially
not,
in the time
you're undermining the club a little bit.
Like, I know we said yesterday that when we were on with Laurie, we basically said we all agreed that Salah's to a certain extent taken the pressure off Arne Slot.
Yeah, it has,
obviously the win last night as well is fantastic. Liverpool seems to be doing all right in Europe.
Yeah.
Then it's the Premier League where they've got their problems. But I feel
Premier
like
League, they're unbeaten in 3.
That's true. Yeah. It's such a weird. I'm getting flamed with this for United at the moment, but the Premier League put up a post with United saying, Man United getting back to form and showed our last 9 results, and there's a section there where there's 1 win in 5, and then I said there's 1 win in 5. Then some United fans are not happy with me at the moment for being too negative. But like, yes, they're unbeaten, but it's also there's still only 1-1.
Of course. However, if you look at the fact they'd lost, what was it, 9 and 12, right? So 9 and 12 in your last 3 are unbeaten. From where Liverpool were at a few weeks ago, that's progress. Liverpool are not the Liverpool last season. So it's even more so. If they would have lost the game at Leeds, then Salah would have had even more credibility more so to come out and say what he said. But they drew that game. They didn't lose it. They didn't lose the week before that. And you weren't in the squad. So I understand why Arne Slot wouldn't change that. I get it.
Well, this is the thing. So one of the comments, Tifu, I can't pronounce the rest of that, has said it's not up to Slot, it's Hughes and Edwards.
That's what I just said to you.
Yeah. So I get that, but the thing is, I think it should be up to Slot because I think Slot should say, "I'm not having him in the squad."
But it won't come from him because there's too much politics when it comes to football.
But if it's like not necessarily say Slot talking to Salah, but Slot talking to the Liverpool owners, basically before they say we recommend that you do this or do that, Slot should just say not having it. Like, a Slot has to take some sort of control on the situation, because if Slot kind of just goes, "Oh, it's out my hand, guys," when at the end of the day he's the one who actually picks the stuff. I don't know how that's going to look.
But
to
like,
other
there's
players.
so many things. Like, there's so many other variables that go on inside a football club. Like, I know from my own club, just through certain things I've heard and know factually over the years, that like if there's a player that like the club want to put in a shop window, the chairman will say that player needs to play, whether or not the manager actually wants them to play or not. Manager, at the end of the day, is there for however long the board wants to keep you there. So on a situation like this, I don't think much of it will actually be down to Arne Slot in terms of the decision making. I think a lot of that will be coming from the top.
So do you reckon if...
Because you don't want to make it... What you don't want to do, not to repeat myself, but what you don't want to do as a football club and ownership is make it look like the player has got more power than the institution. And I think that having Salah either play or on the bench is kind of excusing the fact that he has thrown the club under the bus. And I would just be very surprised if he featured in that game without an apology.
But this is what I'm saying, is that I get that, but I feel like Slot has to be the one to take initiative and say he's not going in the squad before Liverpool recommend that to him.
Arne Slot will have whatever is told to him on this situation. It's bigger than Arne Slot.
Yeah, obviously it's a whole club situation. I just feel like Slot, in a way, I know like we said, is potentially taking the pressure off him and his results, because they are unbeaten in 4, won their last game. Obviously, away against Inter Milan is no easy game. Like Arsenal are going to find that out in a couple of weeks' time, because I think Arsenal will be playing Inter Milan. We'll see what happens there. But I just think that Slot also has to. This is a moment where that's going to define the squad's perception of him as well. Because remember, every single player is going to be watching this, because every single player also will have spent the last...
If Arne Slot chooses to not have him in the squad, that won't just have come from Arne Slot.
No, I understand what you're saying with that. I'm just more mean that I think Slot should be as proactive as he can with this.
He probably is being.
Yeah.
There'll be a conversation between the board, Arne Slot, and potentially, I would assume at some point, Salah. Has there been any conversation whether or not Salah has spoken to the board?
Apparently they're going to, so the reports yesterday were saying that once they come back from Italy, which will have been today, they're going to sit down. I think potentially they might sit down tomorrow, because it was the team would have flown back today, likely, so they'll be come back to training tomorrow.
Flown back straight after last
maybe, but like regardless, I don't know if they would have had a full-on training session today.
Yeah.
Like the big training session where everyone's there will be tomorrow, and maybe there'll be a meeting in the morning, and then they'll address the squad in the afternoon or something, and then make a final decision.
Salah
When's the Liverpool game? Is it Saturday or the Sunday?
I think it's Sunday.
It is Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Oh, it's Saturday.
Saturday at 3 o'clock, yeah. Interesting. I mean, Toby AK
Who are the
says...
Sunday games?
The Sunday games are... I'll let you know now.
Should know
We're
that.
playing on Monday
That's what I
night
think.
again.
Shock.
Yeah.
It's because you've got an open schedule.
It's because, yeah, we got... We're just kind of chilling. It's Crystal Palace, Man City, Forest Spurs, Sunderland Newcastle, West Ham Aston Villa, and Brentford Leeds. And the Saturday games are... There's no 12:30 kickoff, because Arsenal Wolves is at 8 p.m. on Saturday.
Oh, you've got Saturday night.
Yeah.
Football.
So there's more games on Sunday this week than Saturday, and obviously then the mighty Man United versus Bournemouth, who, by the way, I realised this, haven't won in 6.
Yeah, they're on a bad
I didn't
run
even
right
know
now.
this.
They're on a
I didn't,
bad
because
run.
I was looking at the game thinking, oh, that's going to be a really, really tricky game. Like when we went through the schedule a while ago, when I was predicting how many points we'd
I'd
get.
still say it's a tricky game. I'd say every game.
It's
for
a
you is
tricky game because they've got back-to-back 3-0 wins at Old Trafford.
Yeah, and I would say any game for you is fairly tricky.
Any game for us is tricky because we
game,
make them so hard.
I'd say even the Wolves game, like the scoreline.
The scoreline didn't flatter us, I don't
No,
think.
because you had so many chances.
We had so many chances. But we
arguably,
made life so hard for ourselves.
You did make life
All we
hard.
need to do was not lose the ball. All we need to do was not let them shoot, which is so easy,
Easy
and we
said and
still
done.
conceded.
Easy said and
500 or so. It's like 8 hours of football they didn't score for, and they scored a lovely goal against us.
You've given them a goal of the month contender. They hadn't had that.
I know. They haven't ever had a goal of the
They
month. They haven't had the chance for a goal of the month.
They had to go to the academy to get a goal of the month.
Yeah, they did.
what they had to do.
It was rough. Toby says Mo has to speak or apologise publicly.
Yeah.
Does Mo have to do a public apology?
Well, he
or
decided
wouldn't?
sorry, but he decided to air the dirty laundry. So I think there needs to be an apology to the fans. And the
You
club.
reckon if he does decide to try and repair negotiations, is that an utter non-negotiable?
Personally, if this was Son, and it would happen, not that it would ever happen to Son, with Son, because Son is just an angel human being, in the sense that it's just the most wonderful professional and captain. If this was Son and he had been disrespectful to the club, which has also made such a massive problem with fans, I would expect the apology to be made to everybody. Would you not?
What did Harry Kane do after the Man City stuff?
I think he apologised. I think, like, he came back late for training. That was it. And then he didn't play for 3 games.
Like, did he like address stuff eventually?
I think I remember him saying about why he didn't come back to training, but he didn't say it was about City. But I do. Did he just
a general vague like sorry for that, guys? Sorry
think
for
so.
whatever happened. Let's crack
I
on.
think so. I can't massively remember, but I remember it wasn't. It wasn't as heated as what this is. You know, that was because again, Kane as a professional is like the most ultimate professional as well. And like him not coming back to training was, I think, his statement of like, I'm pushing through a move here. And like, I think obviously the club were like, you're not. And he was like, okay, I'm coming back to training. So I don't know. Not sure. I actually genuinely can't remember. So if anyone can remember, let me know.
I mean, clearly what he did was right, because if you can't remember it happening,
I
then
can't
clearly
remember.
it was whatever he did worked.
I
If it was
remember
apologise, not
I remember
apologise.
it was under Nuno, and I remember we beat Manchester City, and I remember us singing about Harry Kane, that we don't need him, type of thing, because we were obviously annoyed about the fact that he hadn't come back and was trying to push a move through. But genuinely, if Manchester City would have put a normal bid on the table, like 120 odd mil for Harry Kane,
Oh yeah, so
he
normal.
would have gone. Like,
So
we would have
normal.
sold him. But they gave such a ridiculously low bid.
It was what, 80?
It was
wasn't
80 million.
Yeah.
You're not having Harry Kane for 80 million with 3 years left on the contract.
Didn't we? I think our bid quote unquote was around 80 for Kane, and then Spurs said 100 for English teams, 80 for Bayern. Then he went to Bayern for 80. Oh, I was fuming at that.
Yeah.
I was fuming at that. I wanted Kane so bad.
Because obviously we were never going to let him go to another English club, like, ever.
Yeah.
Unless the money was really, really good. And 80 million for Harry Kane. Even 100 mil was a bargain, guys. 100 mil was a bargain for Harry Kane.
Hey, and now he's available for like 52.
No, he's older
Yeah.
now. I mean,
Bruno's available for 56 as well. You know,
I would.
there's a release clause in
if
his
I
contract.
if I could donate to the 52 million for Harry Kane fund, including arms, limbs, anything,
Kidneys.
kidneys, I do it. I do it to see him back at his home. Absolutely.
Yeah, when Bale came back to Spurs, that was quite.
And
cool.
do you know what? It's so underrated, Bale's coming back, because obviously it was during COVID. It didn't get anywhere near like what we needed it to be, because we were all in lockdown. So obviously most people didn't get to see him.
Yeah.
Anyway, and we were under Jose, which was so turgid. And like, yeah, his numbers were all right.
He got like what 9 or 10 goals in the league or something
was
that
actually
season.
okay.
Even though he had I think he did have another series of injuries, didn't he?
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
As you always do.
As he always
Gareth
did.
Bale.
But
Actually,
him coming back was magical.
funnily enough, just on the topic of Gareth Bale, he's been speaking about the Wales Golf Madrid flag.
Yeah.
Because
In
Bale's
that
been
order.
retired a few years ago. I remember watching that.
Yeah.
So as a Wales fan, I found that so much fun, so annoying. So basically, he said he was talking to GQ magazine, and he said the flag incident. Someone puts up the flag in front of me. What am I supposed to do? I can't throw my own country's flag on the floor because that would be the worst thing I could do. I never physically touched the flag. I don't know why, but I find that so funny because they've got a photo. They've put a photo up here as well.
Let's see the photo.
He could not look happier. Gareth Bale, right there, could not look like a happier man. Because it was also after we had just qualified.
Yeah, like leave the bloke alone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. If you ask most people, like, especially when you're like Welsh, obviously you're very patriotic as well. You probably would have that too. I mean, it's just not a thing. It should really say Tottenham on there instead of Madrid, because the Madrid fans treated
Well,
him.
it was basically because he couldn't care less about Madrid because
No.
they treated him so
Obviously,
poorly.
they treated him so poorly.
The guy who scored, by the way, multiple Champions League final winning goals.
5-time Champions League
The
winner.
best goal ever seen
In
in
a
the Champions League final as well, by the way. Zidane who? It's Gareth Bale's.
Gareth Bale.
That I will stand on.
Even that first Champions League he won, he was unbelievable.
Right,
he was unbelievable when he come on.
He's, for me, second greatest ever British player behind Rooney.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Is he British? Yeah.
Well, he's Welsh. That's British.
Is that British?
Yes.
Oh yeah, cool.
Come on, Abby. Come on, Abby. Literally, Jack texted me saying as well,
Sorry.
can someone please say a stupid opinion? I think I'm about to timestamp that one.
Is he British?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
he's
Great
British.
Britain.
Second best behind Rooney
Yeah,
for
okay.
me.
All right. Well, I'm
And
not
then
going to
Kane's not far behind.
Kane
but
is definitely not.
But he's
top
not.
three.
He's not near those two.
Argue.
Do you think Kane third maybe? Behind those two.
Yeah.
Two of the top 3 British players of all time going through Spurs.
Glenn Hoddle.
Glenn
was
Hoddle.
exceptional.
He was all right as well.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, I saw someone say last night about, because Bale did a little message to Sonny that was on Instagram and Twitter
Yeah.
or whatever, and what do you mean
Production?
Has?
What do you mean?
Of course he's
Kane
British.
is British.
You trying to wind me up? He's English, which by Dylan's measurements would be British.
What, English?
English and British, same thing then, no?
Well, I mean, not all Brits are English, but all English are Brits.
All English, yeah. That's
Yeah.
What, yeah. Harry, this is actually
Production, what are
Guys,
you
Are
doing?
you trying to get a clip out of this to make me look really? I think I'm already doing that for you. I don't think you need to make me look any thicker. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway.
back to the clip. Anyway, so back to the clip. Someone said, "Wake up, guys! I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired."
It's fine. It's not like you got to watch along to do
It's
after
not,
this
it's
as
not,
well.
it's not like I've got another 4 hours of football to watch and commentate on. Yeah, so he did this, he did a little message basically saying like, oh, it's so like having you back at the club, and like he calls it we when he says, like he refers to Tottenham as we and like us.
It's
and
his home club.
I know, and it's just the nicest thing ever when you've just got someone like Gareth Bale still referring to Spurs as us and we. Oh, I just think we've had so many amazing players come through our club.
Well, I remember you saying
And leave.
you remember you saying a couple of weeks ago. This is the issue you have with Spurs at the moment. Is for the first time in a long time, you don't have that one superstar.
We don't have that one player.
Yeah.
We just don't. Like, we don't have that. And like someone on commentary last night was like, oh, you know, like, could they give Son like a contract for the next few months? They could do with him. Son can't cut it in the Prem anymore, guys. I wish that was true.
He'd fall, with all due respect, Son, he'd fall apart.
He couldn't do it
He would
anymore.
fall apart
He
within
could-
hours.
He couldn't do it last season. Like he couldn't do it the season before. Really, like the legs are gone. He can't do the physicality. Would I love Son in the prime right now? Oh my God, yes, please. But look,
He'd drag you to top four, considering how terrible the league is this season. It's competitive, but every team is. I've been saying this for a while. Most teams are about 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 max.
Yeah.
Apart from Arsenal, who are like a 9 out of 10, and City, who are getting there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, God, we need something in Jan. I don't know what we're going to do in Jan.
We'll see. But on to tonight's game. This is part of the reason I brought up Gareth Bale is Real Madrid versus Man City. I'm so looking forward to this. For those who are watching, by the way, if you're on Samsung TV or if you're watching on Facebook as well,
Who's your watch
this is what I say. So we're doing a watch along tonight, but we've got a bit of a mix of a watch along tonight. We've got me on, who supports none of the teams playing, obviously. And then we've got Raul on for the Real Madrid Man City game. We've also got Laurie coming on, representing the Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
And we've also got a new. I've had a mind blank here. Newcastle fan on. I've just forgotten his name. Oh, that's really bad. Newcastle fan on to watch the Newcastle game as well.
I'm glad he's stuck in your memory.
Oh, this is really bad. I
not
spent like half an hour talking about him before as well. Haas?
Who's a Newcastle fan?
Clinton.
Clinton.
I was about to say Quinton, and I was like, his name isn't Quinton. Clinton. Sorry about that, Clinton. That's my bad. But
Nice.
we've got a star-studded panel. So from about 7:30 onwards, I believe, all the way through until the end of the games. Come and watch us. Join us on the DR Sports channel or on Samsung TV and everything as well. Especially if you're watching on Facebook right now, because we're on Facebook right now as well. Yeah.
Guys, we're just everywhere.
We're everywhere. DR Sports
We're
Takeover.
everywhere. You can't get rid of us.
I do want to. There is another super chat about Marcus Rashford. I'll get into it in a bit, but I want to talk about this Man City game, Real Madrid game as well, because it's always such good fun. This game, like every single season, these guys seem to play at some point. Literally, the last few results have been Man City. So the last 5 games for Real Madrid, Man City, the Santiago Bernabeu. Man City win 2-1. Real Madrid win 3-1. 1-1. 3-3. 3-1. Like these games, so 3-1 Man City win. These games are always very good fun.
Well, defensively, it should be fun. I mean, if City can concede 4 goals to Fulham, I mean, God knows what we're in for tonight.
So, this is the thing that's interesting is that the Mbappe, there's a lot going around about if he can or cannot start tonight. So I think his fitness was initially very much in question. Then about 2 hours ago, Spanish media came out saying he's likely to be on the bench. But now predicted 11s are starting to come out saying that he's probably going to start. I hope he starts.
Yeah.
I love watching Mbappe play. You know the guy. So we talk about Erling Haaland's year this year, right? He's got like 52 goals to his name. Mbappe's on 62.
Yeah, mental.
Mbappe's got 30. So this is in 2025
We're talking
stats.
about calendar year.
Calendar year.
Yeah.
Mbappe's on 37 league goals, 14 Champions League goals, 3 in the Cup, 1 in the Club World Cup, and 7 for France.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland's 23 league goals this year, 8 in the Champions League, 17 for his country, 3 in the Club World Cup, and then 1 in
Haaland was
in
injured
the
for a
cups.
period of time as well.
And Haaland was out for about 2 months, or something up to like 2 months, wasn't it, at the time? But this is good, look, because we spoke. I don't know. Yeah, you were on the stream when we were talking about who's going to have a better World Cup between Haaland and Mbappe.
Yeah.
But because obviously Haaland with Norway, but he's a goal scoring machine. Mbappe obviously
Yeah,
has
but we
France,
said that Haaland
could
win golden
Haaland
boot.
could
and
Haaland
not
could win golden
qualify,
boot
yeah.
in 4 games and leave by round of 16. But I really hope Mbappe does start because it's going to just be hopefully just a goal fest.
I mean, I would expect this to be an absolute corker of a game.
Every time we say that, it's going to end up being a 1-0.
0-0,
But
yeah.
but
Well, on paper, this would tell you that this is going to be a great one. Like, I'm excited for this. There's obviously so much quality on both sides. There's all this stuff going on with Alonso as well. Like, there's so much talk about Xabi Alonso getting sacked. Which do you think that's right or wrong? This chat?
So the same outlet that reported that this is the make or break game for him have now said unless a crisis happens, Xabi Alonso will continue as Real Madrid's manager until the Supercopa in January. The club view that competition as a test.
Where are they in the table?
Madrid, I believe they're second.
Huh? What's a crisis?
But it's Real Madrid. They're like, as far as like storyline wise, yeah, they're second. They're 4 points behind Barcelona. So Barcelona are on 40 points in 16 games, having won 13, drawn 1, and lost 2. Real Madrid have also 16 games, won 11, drawn 3, and lost 2. So it's a case of Real Madrid have drawn 2 games that Barcelona have won.
Yeah. But I mean, that could very much change. I mean, talking about sacking a manager now, like when you're in that position in the table, is wild. But okay. I think I know Liverpool fans have kind of got one eye on that Xabi Alonso.
The comments yesterday when we brought it up, it was like yes, bring him in.
Because they wanted him even before that they got rid of Slot. They thought at one point he was coming. I remember AGT sitting there being like, "Oh yeah, it's definitely confirmed. Like Xabi Alonso is coming," and then it was like, "Oh no, we're getting Amorim. Which I'm sure they're very happy about." But yeah, it's this will be a really good game. It's another opportunity, I guess. I mean, to watch Haaland on the big stage as well. Haaland v Mbappe.
I love watching Haaland.
He's
so anti-football.
Is
I love
Vinicius Junior's fit? No one else is out for Madrid?
Let me get that up because it's a bit confusing actually. So actually, before I get that up, I just want to so the form wise. So some of the comments are saying that Real Madrid's form of all right isn't all right. So their form at the moment isn't going well. So since they lost to Liverpool, then drew to Rayo Vallecano and then drew to Elche, beat Olympiacos that game was mad. Mbappe scored 4 goals that game.
Yeah.
Drew to Girona, beat Athletic Bilbao and then lost to Celta Vigo. So it's their last 5 games are 1 loss, 2 wins, 2 draws. It's basically the same as United.
Yeah.
Is what's going on just in terms of like the up and downness that's going on at Real Madrid. But I'm just trying to get there.
Kim made a point on Monday's show, right, which was just such a mental point. But we're going
I love Kim. He's fantastic.
Said that they don't need Rodri. Now, I don't want to take this out of context. It was about... He basically said they don't need to be consistent and they don't need to have Rodri. And we were like, what do you mean you don't need to have Rodri? Like, you are inconsistent. And, like, consistency is what will win leagues. Like, that's when City have gone on those runs when they've had like a bad start to the season by their standards and then they've come back and they've won 10 games in a row. Of course you need consistency. And of course we have seen how much they've struggled without Rodri. We've seen that over the last year. We've seen that. We don't know whether or not he's going to come back and be anywhere near his best and what that Rodri's going to look like, but that team looks completely different when Rodri is not in it. And we can say, okay, Nico Gonzalez is all right. Yes, he's a good player, but like, he's no Rodri. We're talking about a Ballon d'Or winner here.
I don't necessarily think that so many of City's problems at the moment stem from Rodri not being there. Some of them do.
I think most of City's problems stem from that.
But I think I kind of understood. When I was watching the show, I kind of understood what Kim was saying.
Explain.
I just think he was saying it terribly.
Tell me how he was meant to say it, because none of it couldn't land with any of us.
I think what Kim was, and I'm not saying I agree with him, but I think what Kim was trying to say is that Rodri will not ever be, again, the type of Rodri that we've seen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And he feels that the way City have dealt with that so far is better than what was being painted. I think what he thought was being painted was that Man City don't have Rodri and they've collapsed and everything. But what he was then saying was that we're not as bad without Rodri as maybe you thought you would be. And so they don't necessarily need peak Rodri again in order to be successful, because he thinks that they will win the league anyway.
Yeah, okay, fine. That's a bit more...
I think that a lot of what he was saying stems from the fact that he thinks they're going to win the league. So if they don't win the league, he might retract that.
I think that they only win the league if Haaland stays fit, because I don't genuinely think City are good enough elsewhere and consistent enough at the moment to do that. Obviously, I would love that to not be the case. I want them to go on and win the league, especially with the position that I'm in as a Spurs fan. I will always back City. But I feel like having Rodri, even if he doesn't come back as the same player, which he won't, and we have, again, he's been out injured again. Like, City will always be a better team with Rodri in it. He's not going to be able to probably do the same job that he did before, which was 2 players in one. But I think
Nico Gonzalez has been really
he's not
good.
Rodri, mate. He's never
no one's
Rodri.
Nico Gonzalez is never winning a Ballon d'Or, but that doesn't mean that he can't be a very good defensive midfielder. He can be
very good, but he's not Rodri. And if you can have Rodri, you have Rodri.
I think City's biggest issues came creatively. When Cherky joined and then got 2-month injury,
Yeah.
Cherky's now back and he's looked fantastic since he started creating more. That I think City's main problem has been creativity. Phil Foden's that they're looking better now
Yeah.
because their attacking players are becoming much more creative and be able to willing to share the burden a bit more with Foden. Sorry, not Foden, Haaland.
Yeah.
City do have they're conceding more goals and that is due to Rodri not being there.
So
but
you do need Rodri then.
Yeah, every team in the world would need Rodri because he was one of the best
that's the point
midfielders.
I'm making.
But I
Nico
think
Gonzalez is fine, but we're talking about Rodri here. We're talking
But
about
I
Rodri
just-
literally put out fives before they even started. Rodri was two
I know
players
that.
in
No,
one.
I
There's no one
completely
that
agree
could
with
chat
that.
to Rodri in
Every
that
team
position.
on the planet gets better with Rodri, like
Of
prime
course.
Rodri in it.
So what we were saying is, obviously you're better, and I would think you'd have more consistency as a City team if you've got Rodri that's fit. Like, of course, Rodri comes straight back in. There's a level. Nico Gonzalez is a very good player, but he's not a Rodri. And the City will always look better when you've got Rodri in your team. I don't think people maybe because he's been so absent for so long
He's been
because of
so
the
absent.
injuries. But you forget that, like, City with Rodri, if we go back to the start of last season before he got injured and then the fall off after that, they couldn't function without Rodri. They physically
season,
couldn't
yes, they
function.
couldn't. I agree with
Obviously
that.
now they've adapted because they've had to. They've got different players in that position. They went hard in the transfer windows to build a team that could function without Rodri, which it can. But they couldn't function as a team without him because of what he does. The work rate, the ground coverage, the duels, the just being everywhere and doing everything. Also, big goals he would come up with. Late winners, like he was that guy. Like City
But
couldn't
he's
function
never. I
without him.
think part of it is he's never going to be that guy again.
He might not come back as that guy again, but I still believe that City are a better team, obviously, when they have Rodri in the fold. I think that gives you more consistency, and I would back City far more and think that they look stronger if they had him in their midfield, even if he's half the player he was.
Yeah, no, I do get that though, because I'm comparing it to Casemiro, right? How he is with us at the moment. Casemiro, when we were getting him to play 90 minutes 3 times a week last season, season before last, it was a nightmare. His legs are completely gone.
Yeah.
But now you get Casemiro for 70, 75 minutes,
Yeah.
and he's fantastic. He's been amazing for us this season.
Yeah.
Casemiro has, but at the same time, I feel like City have negated not having Rodri a lot better this season than they did
course.
last season, and I
Yeah.
do think Nico Gonzalez is a big reason for that.
Absolutely, but I'm not taking anything away from Nico Gonzalez. I think he's a very good player. But even if you had Rodri that could come on and play 60, 70 minutes of a game at some point, that definitely makes City better and more of a contender than with life without him. Like,
Yeah,
it's
fair
the
enough.
lack of consistency. I
do
with City.
think,
they concede goals. We know that they are shaky when it comes to they're not the defensive unit that they were. They're just not.
I do. The one thing I think Kim was wrong though was backing City to win the league. I don't think so yet.
Oh, I think City can do it.
They can do it, yes, but I think
they need
his
more in Jan.
utter confidence and exuberance that it'll happen, I think, is a
But
little.
This is a team that's.
But I
won it
guess
so
he
many
backs
times.
his team because he's seen them do it so many
and
times. So I
arguably
kind of
this is a bit
understand
of
that.
a new city, a new
Yeah.
look City. Whether or not they can do it at the minute, I don't know. But I think that they need more in Jan. I don't think that they're near. I don't think they're not near the finished product. If City go on and win this league over Arsenal, it's mental.
The red.
The
And
red.
speaking of red, that's an injury cross is red. And you're talking about the injuries
go
with
on.
Real Madrid. And I've just got them up here, and it's a lot worse than I thought it was. So Alaba and Hudson are doubtful for the game. I don't know
What
if
do
they
you call
travelled or not. Huh? I don't know how to say it name.
Howson.
Is it Howson?
Howson.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic. Danny Carvajal out, Militao out, Mendy out, Trent Alexander out, Camavinga out. You want to come on? Hop on? Come on, Raul. Lovely to meet you, mate. How you doing?
Hola.
¿Cómo estás? What's going on, guys?
Bien.
Well, we're just covering the City Real Madrid game. Just before the game, we got
Bueno.
eight minutes till we then cut out for a bit and then come back to the live stream. But we're just looking at your injuries.
It's crazy. The situation is crazy, and the injury as well. I don't know what's going on, but still, we are Real Madrid, and we had to fight for every trophy. We had to fight for with the academy player. I don't know. It's a lot of going on, but it's no excuse. It's no excuse.
Who are you seeing as your starting 11 tonight?
Oh, it's crazy because now I know about the situation of Mbappe. So they are talking about Hendrik, but my point is Hendrik now, when Xavi Alonso didn't give any opportunity during the season, he preferred Gonzalo, that is a player of the academy. Now I know. The defender, we have Valverde left, Central back, we have Rudiger, and we have Raúl Asensio. Left back, Carreras. In the midfielder, we have Tchouaméni. We have Guller, maybe. We don't have that many players. Then Vinicius. And then maybe Mastantuono as well. I don't know.
So AS say he's a possibility to start. But obviously, I think the whole thing with Real Madrid, I guess how you're feeling at the moment, is that it's so up in the air. You have no idea who even is and isn't available.
No. We don't know because as well with Hausen, they said that he was injured for 1 week. Now it's 2 weeks. We don't know what's going on. No one is clear. The situation is crazy. But still, it's 4 points behind Barcelona in the Liga. Still in the top 8 of the Champions League. Let's see what's going on.
Am I right in thinking that more than anything, like it's Phil Foden the last few seasons has been almost your enemy when you've played City? Because you've played City so many times in the last few years.
Yeah.
And it's been, from what I can remember, it's been Phil Foden so often that's pulled it out of the bag. And he's in very, very good form at the moment for Man City. Is that kind of, obviously everyone's going to be scared of Erling Haaland. But is that also someone that you're going to be, for Man City, really, really worried about heading into the game?
You know what? The thing is, I am not scared of anyone. I am scared about my defenders. It's true, because if we paid attention in Foden, what's going on with Haaland? If we paid attention in Haaland, what's going on with Foden? So Asensio, we never know. It's good. Asensio is good, but we never know what's going on with Asensio.
Let me ask you about Alonso then. What are your thoughts on Xabi Alonso?
The situation with Xabi Alonso at the moment is difficult because the team is difficult, because I think you cannot have in a team too many stars. I remember the era of Galacticos when we have 5 big stars or 4 big stars. I don't know what's going on, but something big is going on inside of the club at the moment. I don't know, because if I am honest, we have the best team possible in the world at the moment. But if you see the team play football, they don't run. They don't want to play. Tonight, no one knows what is going to happen. It's very difficult because I promise you, if they want to play, they're going to play.
Yeah.
But if they want to sack Alonso, they are going to do everything to sack Alonso.
So do you think it is a problem that they have with Alonso?
Maybe, but the problem is who is coming in.
I don't know. To manage those type of players as well. You know, when Pochettino was at PSG and they had so many superstars, you had the Mbappe, the Messi, the Neymar, and they didn't do well, especially in that half season when he took over and they didn't win Liga. Like, when you have too many stars and nobody wants to do the hard work, that's the problem. Is this the kind of thing you're seeing at Real Madrid?
It is because Vinicius is not running back. Mbappe is playing as a striker. He's not running back. Then if we play with Guller, he's very unstable. If we play with Rodrigo, he's not Rodrigo anymore. So
it's not really a Xabi Alonso problem, then, is it?
I don't think so. I think
it's more of an ego problem.
It's the ego problem. The player, honestly, they don't want to play. If they want to play, I remember the day against Girona, or the day we were losing, and they say, 1-0. Okay, let's gonna play. And we score in 5 minutes. If they want to play, if they want to win, they are gonna win.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe tonight, it's a lot
in the Champions League, though, has it been the same as the league? You're seeing the same type of level of performance.
The same, yeah. But we lost against Liverpool.
Yeah, of course.
And also,
I was there.
And the game against Olympiacos as well was Mbappe scoring 4.
Yeah, but Olympiacos.
Yeah, no. But I mean, the way of you still conceded 3 goals there in that game, and it's like the players were still having to maybe kind of feeling maybe they're too relaxed because they've made it to Real Madrid. Because I've seen it at United. So I've seen it at United a few times where a player makes it to United and goes, "I've made it now. It's fine." Or they play for a new contract.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw gets his new contract. Rashford gets his new contract, and then they just go, "I've done it now. I've secured my contract. It's what I wanted." And then they just flatline almost.
Yeah. Well, it tells me it's an ego issue. The same way that we sat here and we're talking about Salah, and we're saying that Salah doesn't want to do the tracking back and the dirty work, etc. And that's why Slot had left him out the team initially, because he needed players that were going to be able to do that and help out. It's a similar situation when you can't carry too many players.
A similar situation, but fair for Liverpool, because you know what, Slot just got the power of the club. It's not happening in the Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Alonso is playing. I think, in my point, Alonso is playing alone. He's having he's fighting with the players, but he doesn't have anyone supporting him. You know.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult.
Do you think Perez isn't necessarily supporting him too much?
What I hear about Perez, apparently Perez didn't want him.
Who did he want?
Oh,
Perez, I don't know, maybe Arbeloa, but who is Arbeloa? This is the situation. No, it's true.
It's true.
He managed the second team in Real Madrid.
yeah. No, I hear that. Yeah.
Can be good, can be bad. Everything is possible. But what I want to say is, I think he's not gonna be out of the club if today we lost 5-0, for example.
I don't think you'll lose 5.
It can be possible. We are playing
we'll see,
with Guardiola.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But also, what I do want to say, just before we wrap up, guys, remember, we are doing a watch-along. We'll be watching the Arsenal game, Newcastle game, Real Madrid game. Ro will be here, obviously, reacting to the Real Madrid-Man City game. Then we got Clinton with the Newcastle game, Laurie with the Arsenal game. Join us here from about 7:30-ish, either on Samsung TV, I believe, or maybe not, but definitely on DR Sports YouTube, maybe the Facebook as well, to do all that. But apart from that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back live at 5 tomorrow at 5 p.m. to go through all the results and also look towards the weekend and everything as well. Abby will be here at 12:30 tomorrow.
12:30.
12:30 for the weekend preview. Apart from that, we'll see you soon.
Hi, and welcome along to the best of enemies.
My ball's black. Hey, Spot, I'm gonna jump off.
Hey, you're looking trim though.
Well, you haven't. You've been running from the show. I'm past caring if Tottenham even win now. I mean, Expressions FC.
Don Robbie is here in Saudi Arabia.
Man. Yeah, here we go.
To take over. Really about your team.
It's not about Man United right now. When was the last time you even won a game? Saudi Arabia versus Oman.
I'm at Saudi Arabia, man. They ain't gonna let me down. What an exciting game.
You were up. That was offside. That was offside. We are here today for the burial of Arsenal's Premier League dreams. Let's start again. Hi, and welcome along to the best of enemies. How you doing, Rob? How are you, bro?
Well, none of you two can talk to me, because at least we challenge for the league. Al Riyadh, they're taking on Al Nassr today. Big game. One of the biggest games of the season.
Yalla, yalla, yalla. Riyadh,
You will never even win the Champions League because we see things you will never see, Robbie.
Do you know how shameless you are, bro? You're supposed to be winning the league, but you're doing a hate-along, bro.
I've been chased by a tractor. You've brought in opera singers. When you say Tottenham, you put respect on us, blood, yeah?
Depart the room for about the next 5 minutes or so.
How?
Because we're going to talk about the Champions League.
Emotional.
Who would have thought that a Tottenham fan, a Manchester United fan, and an Arsenal fan would get along? Well, sometimes.